And we are back for the last segment of this podcast version of BTV. I'm Marcus Boston, and we have talked about a lot of things today. And before we go, what I want to do is deal with this email that we were sent. And this is from Greg in Baltimore. And Greg writes and says, pretty much, Mr. Boston, I haven't hired an attorney yet, but I'm wondering if I do hire an attorney, what will my direct examination be like when I have to tell my story? Okay. And for those of you guys who are listening and you are in the same boat as Greg, you're thinking about whether you're going to hire an attorney or you're going to do it on your own, your car accident case, you're going to do it on your own. You may be wondering, okay, what do I have to say? What are the things that I want to get into and things of that nature? If you do have an attorney, your attorney will talk to you more in depth about this and give you a very good idea as to what are some of the areas that he or she is going to touch on. Now, all attorneys do this different. So what I'm going to give you is just a basic outline of some of the things that a lot of attorneys like to get into when you're dealing with a car collision case. So first of all, most attorneys, you want to lay the foundation for who you are as the plaintiff. You want to get into your name, address, things of that nature, how long you've lived where you live, birth date, age, things like that. Some attorneys will then move on to the marital status, the family status of the person bringing the lawsuit. Are you married? Your wife's name. Do you have any children that are present in the courtroom with you? Your wife's employment, where she works, length of time where the wife has worked, things of that nature. And after that, attorneys may want to get into your employment, work history, what you do, your occupation, length of employment, how long you work where you work, whether you are currently employed, and if you are, what you do, your training for your occupation, any type of licensing that you may have, things like this. Your attorney will want to get into these types of things to help give the jury a good understanding of who you are, your background. Who is this person sitting in the box talking to us right now? Your educational and military service, that may be something that your attorney want to bring up. Where did you graduate from high school? If you did. Military service, if you were in the military, what branch were you in? How long did you serve? Did you have an honorable discharge? What was your rank at the time of your discharge? Things like this gives the jury a really good idea as to who you are. Then some of the next things that the jury may want to know about, that your attorney may get into, is your prior health. This is something that would probably be a really good idea for your lawyer to get into and for you to talk about. Your prior health before the collision. Did you have any health issues? Did you have, for example, any back pain? Did you have any prior back operations? Did you have prior back aches? Did you have prior elbow or shoulder problems? This will allow the jury to see, okay, this is what was going on with Mr. Plaintiff or Mr. Person bringing the lawsuit, and this is where he is today. Your attorney may also want to get into your prior work habits. How long did you work? The details of your job, the length of your employment, your loyalty to your employer, the difficulty of your work. These types of things, they go as to your habits, your work habits. A lot of attorneys also like to get into your prior exercise, your prior activities, your hobbies, things that you did. Were you in an exercise program? If you were, how long were you in it? What were the details of the program? Things like this. Hobbies. Did you like to bowl? Did you like to did you go horseback riding? Did you have a garden? Did you play the organ at your church? These types of questions allow you to tell the jury who you are, going forward with your case. So, and like I was saying, I'm just trying to give you a good idea of some of the things that your lawyer would like to try to get into. Now, a lot of those are background questions and stuff I just talked about, and eventually your lawyer is going to bring you up to the collision, and you want to be able to talk about the date and time of the collision. What day of the week was it? How was the weather? Where did the collision take place? Are you familiar with the accident scene, the street directions? Were there presence of traffic control signals? All of these types of things you want to get into to give the jury a good picture of the case. And this is important because, remember, the jury, they weren't there. They didn't see what happened. They were not present at the time. So you have to be able to explain to them in a very detailed way what happened. After the collision, your attorney may want to get into the hospital. Did you go to the hospital? What was the name of the hospital? What happened when you got to the hospital? What happened during your admission? What type of treatment were you given at the hospital? How did you feel when you were in the hospital? Did the doctors prescribe you any type of pain medications while you were there? What was the length of stay at the hospital? Did they release you and let you go home? All of these types of questions your attorney is going to ask just to be able to give you a good idea, and this is what I'm saying is this is giving you a good idea as to what you need to be on the lookout for. When you left the hospital, your attorney may get into this. What was your condition when you got home? Were you bedridden? Could you move around the house? How did you feel when you were home? What type of pain medications that you were prescribed to take when you left the hospital? What type of medical treatments that you had to do when you were home? Physical therapy, things of that nature. After you deal with your release from the hospital, the plaintiff, you may want to talk about work. Now, how has your life been at work since the collision? Are you able to still function? Were you able to still do the types of work in your job that you were doing before the collision? What about, your feelings about work? How do you feel now about doing your job? See, these are all very important questions. And then eventually your attorney is going to get into questions about your medical expenses. Your attorney is going to ask you to lay the foundation, what we call the foundation, and identify any type of medical expenses that you have, your bills and things like that. All of this information will be used to show that what you did and the treatments that you received were reasonable and that they were fair under the circumstances. So these are your medical expenses. This is also another area that you've got to get into. And then your attorney may want to get into your current condition. And that is, how do you feel right now? What type of exercise are you doing right now? Are you gaining weight because of inactivity, because you can't move too much? How has this collision affected your life right now? What is the physical, and I mean, not physical, but the financial impact of the injury right now? See, these are the types of things that your attorney is going to want to get into specifically as to your case. Now, remember, guys, what I just tried to do is just give you just a basic. I mean, this is very basic what I just talked about. Each case is different, so your attorney may want to take it in a different direction, or may want to set it up a different way. But this question that was asked by Greg hopefully will allow you to have a better idea of what is coming. What are the types of things that your attorney is going to want to get into with this type of case? Well, that is my time for today. I hope that what we talked about specifically in this segment is very beneficial to you, the listeners. And if you are right now watching this video on YouTube, take a quick moment and subscribe to our YouTube page. You want to do that because we update that page and upload a lot of helpful videos like what you are listening to right now and watching right now. And YouTube will send you a message and let you know, hey, Boston Law Group, they've put up some new information. You might want to take a look at it. Guys, thanks for taking the time to listen to this video today. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. You have just listened to a podcast from the trial attorneys at Boston Law Group, LLC. For more information, you can reach us at 301-850-4832. And if you would like us to answer a question in one of our podcasts, send us an email at info@bostonlawllc.com. Thank you and have a great day.
Is 3 seconds enough time to review your scans and x-rays? Every second counts. Don't get left in the dark.